Alright guys, Dokkan time, and today we'll be going over the new Android 21 units how to build guide. This is going to be a back and forth kind of thing. I'm going to have like two different builds you can utilize. It's entirely up to you how you want to build her. I know that the reception of her hasn't been like super like good outside of waifu mommy status. So I will fold, and I will definitely try to be as biased onto my how to build as possible. So she is an Android's Majin Power Peppy Gal 170 lead with absorption, transformation boost, and crossover being 200%. It's not a very good leader skill. It's a very abstract one with a lot of like back and forth. I think it would have been a lot better if it was power absorption as one of the 170. That probably would have been better instead of Majin Power. It would have encompassed the exact same units from Majin Power and given better diversity. But unfortunately, this is what we're with, and we're just gonna have to roll with it. But on her first super attack, she raises attack and defense. She has two different kits, obviously, because she transforms into good 21. She does have a 50% chance to stun, so that's some good utility for early fights and diverse different content in the game. She's got 30% attack and defense raise. Attack and defense 150. All allies are getting key +2. Really random boost to just give out key +2 to all the allies. I think the thought process that they had with actually giving her key +2 was the fact that a lot of units on Peppy Gals, Majin Power, Androids, not a lot of those units are going to be like intermingling unless it's like straight Peppy Gals, straight Majin, straight Androids. If you intermix the batch of units, they're not probably going to like actual link up very much aside from like shattering the limit. Perhaps a couple other links. I can't really even come to my brain right now. But yeah. So I think that was the thought process on giving her key +2. Either way, that does help out a lot. Plus additional attack and defense 120 when attacking, and high chance of evading enemy super attack within the same turn. So the only unfortunate thing, this is one of those key things people have noticed, and I have noticed. She only gets the 50% chance to evade when she super attacks, or when she attacks in general. So if you put her in slot 1, she doesn't have 50% chance to dodge up until she actually gets to attack. So anything coming at her frame 1 basically is she's just taking it. She doesn't have a high start of turn defense. She's got like maybe 250, 300. She does have an additional key +2, attack +60 for 3 turns after evading an attack. That's pretty good number right there, actually. She does launch additionals and has a 50% chance of launching a super, and then she can launch another additional attack with a 70% chance. It's very weird. So she can already. We got triple super stuff right here. Triple super built in right away. So immediately I wouldn't necessarily I wouldn't give her additional. But as far as like offensively going, that would be different. As a defensive unit, yeah, I can understand wanting to still put additional into her, because in all honesty, she doesn't have a super high attack even at Rainbow. I think even at Rainbow, she's like bordering like 5 million, 5, 6, 7 million. It really just depends on how many additionals. If she has the attack +60 boost after evading for 3 turns. If she's got all of her links active. I mean, she doesn't have a stupidly high attack. I would say in this form, she's more of like a dodge tank. But here's the thing. This is the part that gets me every time. Oh, also that 70% chance to additional is after she performs a 3rd attack in battle. She does disable the enemy's action once within the turn after performing the 6th attack. Once only. It's a very weird requirement. Very weird thing to just randomly give. I'm not mad about it. I like it. But she also has a great chance of performing a critical hit starting from after the 6th attack. So the interesting thing about that is that so a 70% chance to crit is pretty wild. That's pretty wild. It's after the 6th attack, but that's pretty wild to just give her that crit there. But let's see here. She transforms when facing only one enemy from the 5th turn. So if we go over to her transformation, she still only raises attack and defense on super, and then she recovers 5% HP. She has recover 30% once she transforms. She has attack and defense 210%. All allies are still getting ki +2. Plus an additional ki +2 attack and defense 120% when attacking. He reduces damage to you by 21%. Plus an additional defense plus 60% within the turn after receiving an attack, not dodging. There's a couple differences already. And then she launches 2 additional attacks, which each have a 70% chance of being a super attack. So she still has that triple super built in. And she recovers 21% HP when HP is 60% or less at the end of the turn. So notice that the crit disappeared. Notice the crit all of a sudden just got removed from her passive. She does have an active, which massively raises her attack and disables the enemy's action, and she has attacks effective against all types during that turn that she activates the active. So, I've mentioned this before. Attacks effective against all types is a 1.5 multiplier. 1.5. A crit, on the other hand, is a 1.9, and it ignores defense. So crit does a lot more than attack effective against all types. So, she's not critting in this form. She's not critting in the good 21 version of her. But if we go back to this form, in her base state, she has a 70% chance of critting. So if you literally build her with full, if you just say screw it and build her straight up full additional and dodge, she's literally doing everything. She's triple supering, she's critting like 70% of the time, and if you went even a full dodge build, she'd be dodging 30% of the time, or much more actually if you kind of average it out with the 50% chance to evade. I mean, she's kind of doing everything. But the thing is, when you think about it, if you put her into the 21 form, she's not doing any damage at all anymore. Like, as soon as you go into good 21, there's no more damage coming out. Because the crit is gone. Once the crit disappears, there's no more chance of piercing defense. There's no 1.9 multiplier. You don't even have the attacks effective against all types, because that's only for one turn. That'll be for a one-turn ordeal. So she'll be able to do damage for one turn when you activate this active. And it has to be from the next attacking turn. So it can't be, I don't think it can be on the very turn that you... Okay, wait. It can be activated when facing only one enemy from the next attacking turn. So yeah, once she enters the field, you can't use it. The next following turn, she can use it. But either way, it's really weird. I mean, she can hit she can hit 2 million defense. She can hit 2 million defense, which is absolutely absurd to me that she can hit 1 million defense, or 2 million defense, but they took away her crit, and I really feel like that's like the big getter right there, is like, you're trading that crit and doing everything in the base 21 state for this 2 million defense tank. So you have the options of like having this dodge tank that crits and does everything all at once, to a unit that's healing constantly and tanking aggressively, and can do some decent damage, but she'll never crit. So it really depends on how you really want to build her. Keep in mind, in her base lab code state, she'll do 1.2 million defense if she quad supers. She's got a quad super. She has to quad super. So there is that to keep in mind. Because if you only get one super attack off of her, she's only 600k, 2, 700. Triple 900, now we're talking. But she also has 50% chance to dodge, and she has 70% chance to crit, so she's kind of doing it all around. So I guess it just really depends on what your agenda is. You can either go for the dodge additional build and just go straight up for a defensive unit. And then, or you have the option of trying to be like, no, let's actually take away the additional. She's already triple supering no matter what, and put crit into her. Now you don't have to worry about getting 6 attacks in her base form, and you'll actually do an absurd, well, not an absurd, you'll be doing a very good, decent amount of damage even after she's transformed while she's tanking at the same time. Personally, I'm going to go for the crit dodge build. That's my personal build because I want to see some damage out of her while she's also tanking. But I can definitely see how the majority of audiences are probably going to view her as a straight-up tank that can just do a little bit of everything. So, but anyways, guys, let me know how you are going to build Android 21. And I hope you have a good day and a good night.